important to create that fun aspect. Get, when I was in corporate, having been an entrepreneur from the age of 16, to then go into corporate, all my friends would say to me, "How on earth can you operate?" And I said, "I make it a game. I make it a game. When someone, as I said earlier, when someone says there's red tape, I go, "Where's the scissors?" When someone says you can't, I go, "Why not? This is how we've always done it." Okay, so why do we always have to do it like this? One of the key things, was quite an interesting thing, was at Woolworths, when I set up the sort of agency from within, we were producing leaflets, and the way that they'd produced leaflets historically was if it's an extra large store, they get 10,000 leaflets. If it's a large store, they get 7,500 leaflets. If it's a medium store, they get 5,000 leaflets. If it's a small store, they get 2,000 leaflets. So I looked at it and I said, why do we do this? Why is this the basis on which we're deciding the number of leaflets? So someone said, "Oh, but that's a large store." I said, "Okay. And this is a small store, and so they get fewer leaflets." And I said, "Well, I'd like to do a piece of work, actually, an investigative piece of work on this, because my gut feeling would be that the small stores will possibly have higher footfall, because they're your convenience stores, so you've got people constantly coming in. So what I'd really like to do is find out transaction per store and basket spend per store, and let's produce leaflets on that basis rather than on the side of the store." Yeah. And so what we did, and the data spoke.
Yeah.
And it spoke volumes.
Always.
And quite often the extra large stores had the lowest footfall, but the largest basket spend.
That would make sense.
So it was interesting. It was an interesting piece of work. So rather than do this now, obviously when it's point of sale and stuff that was being put up in the store, then it moved to size of store.
Yeah,
but when it was actually a flyer that was giving an offer or a pre-order or whatever it was,
then
transaction,
more footfall coming in.
Exactly. So it's just, and those sort of challenges and being prepared to challenge is really important. And one of the businesses I'm working with at the moment, there's a person there who has come up with an idea to try something, a youngster in the business. It hasn't worked. And when I spoke to the directorship team, I said, do not chastise that person.
Absolutely.
What you do is you give them kudos for actually having the balls.
Well, if you do,
to
you're
stand up and speak out.
Oh, yes.
And I said, as my great friend Helen Ward would say, deliver a shit sandwich. Give them the piece of positive. Give them the, this is why, think about
and
these
then,
sorts of things, and then a bit of good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more motivational. That's when you want to bring people on and encourage them and make it fun.
That person will then learn from that. And when you say to people, it's okay, a company our size, it's okay to make mistakes. It's rectify very, very quickly. That's how you learn. It's all right to make mistakes. Try it out. It doesn't work. You put something out on social, you've got a typo. Well, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I can see you're trying. I can see you're making an effort. I can see you're growing, evolving. People have said to me before, like, I get asked this question as well. How do you do it? Because on LinkedIn, people don't know if I'm talking about the pharmaceutical industry, MWT, or you're talking about skincare today, or you're talking about selling shea butter, or you're talking about skin condition. It's all the things that's me.
But I think that's an entrepreneur spirit. So you know what I'm like. I could literally pick up the phone to you and be talking about shea butter.
And then next week you're talking about something else.
And then I could pick up the phone and speak about engineering. I can pick up the phone and be speaking about
that's different private people. Estate. Even a conversation with just you and I, you talk about shea butter, you talk about EMPT, you talk about cancer. Blah, 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 blah. In one conversation we talk about a lot. But some people would say, well, how do you do all that? How are you able to sort of
compartmentalize?
That word is hard for me to say. Compartmentalize all of this. The answer is fun. If you have fun and you enjoy doing something, it ceases to be a chore.
With genuine interest.
Absolutely. It genuinely ceases to be a chore. It's something that you enjoy, that makes you happy. It doesn't mean it's not hard, because people think, when you say fun, it means you're ignoring, not recognizing, not acknowledging the difficulties or the challenges. Oh my God, why do we love to focus on the challenges all the time? You know, let's do a SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The joys and the opportunities there. I'll sit in that box for a while. Okay, what's in this? You know, what can we get from? You know what I mean? So,
it's back to that reframing a situation to make it fun. How can I make this fun? How can I make this enjoyable? What can I do with this bit that could be a bit of a tribulation to, you know, it's your invoicing. Okay, so what can I do to make it fun to do my invoicing? You know, create a carrot, you know, do something that you want to do and you go, okay, after 50 invoices, I'm going to do this. Or, you know, it's
or
that.
stick a piece of music on
Or a piece
and
of
say,
music.
I hate doing invoicing, right? But my favourite artist of all time is Prince. I love Prince. Yeah,
You've got that with my husband.
That's the only man I would have left my husband for. Prince. But he's gone now. I'll say to myself, okay, on Fridays I'll do my invoicing. I'll do my invoicing, Karen, every Friday. With Prince. Stick Prince on, and then you know that the artist will help you get through this invoicing malarkey that you don't like.
And then you change that. So you don't ever say you don't like it. You say, I love invoicing on a Friday.
Exactly, because Prince is right there with me.
Yeah. So the moment you say it to, I love invoicing on a Friday with Prince.
That's right, because he's invoicing and in the background is thunder all through the night.
As you're in your red Corvette.
Absolutely. That fun. Fun.
Recently, I had a kitchen table event with a group of women that I adore.
What on earth is a kitchen table event?
So it's where a group of women from different industries sit round together and have a general discussion about, it could be issues and successes that they've had, asks that they might have. I'm trying to find. It's intimate, so it's not like huge. So I limit this particular one to 22.
Nice.
There's a core group of us that have formed really beautifully, and so we discuss different things. And as part of the leads for this event, I mentioned the second best Marigold Hotel film. Now, there are two films, the best Marigold Hotel and the second best Marigold Hotel, where I think arguably the second is as good as the first.
I think I've seen the second.
Yeah, absolutely adore it. And within the second one, there's a taxi driver. And the taxi driver has sayings that he switches to, and he creates malapropisms from his sayings. One of them is, some you win and some you learn, my lady. One of them is, your command is my wish.
Oh, flip. Okay.
And I think that's really interesting. Your command is my wish means that when someone is asking you to do something or directing you to do something, you don't feel like that you're being told to do it. You're actually saying, I'm doing this because I'm choosing to.
Yeah.
So that command is my
As
wish, I
opposed to
think,
your wish
which is my command. Like, I'm doing this because I have to.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really lovely. And then
What's the first one again?
Some you win and some you learn.
I like that.
And then the last one, which I just think is, I mean, the first one isn't really a malaprop because it's, you know, it's switching out a word, but the other two, the third one is, there's no time, instead of there's no time like the present, there's no present like the time.
There's no present.
As in time's a gift.
That's time's a gift. Okay, there's literally no present like the
time. And I thought that's a really beautiful, you know, we're talking about reframing things, and that taxi driver, so innocently in the translation of language, actually makes more of three phrases than they even meant to start with.
It's more like one in translation instead of lost in translation. It wins something in that.
Is increased by the translation. And I thought that was
That's
really
lovely.
beautiful.
That is just lovely.
Piece.
That's cool. That's gorgeous.
And I think that when we're together, I think there's no present like the time that we spend.
I agree, and I think it underlines the gift of time. I think that's also something that makes me happy is when we gift each other our time. And we're in the present.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the now, we're enjoying the moment, right? On Wednesdays, not knowing, I'm in the shower, I'm thinking, okay, it's Wednesday today, I'm going to see Karen, what are we going to talk about? David asked me, we're going to talk about today. I just said to him, what do you think? He said, why don't you talk about relationships? I'm like,
Later.
Well, exactly. You know, I was like, I don't know. The joy is, the gift is in the not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you having a question just to kick off today, and I'm thinking, oh, this question, and I'm excited, thinking, let's go. We were doing something, I'm like, let's go and record because I want to know what the question is. Fun.
Yeah, creating
The
fun.
gift of fun and time, and people just assume that helping somebody out or working with somebody or supporting that time is so precious. I've had a few losses in my life in the past 4 years, and what they've taught me is that those people who have lost are no longer here. I remember them, and in fact, like my dad, I was trying to think, I had to go look for a picture of my dad just to bring his features back in my mind. I was thinking, my God, it's my father, and not that I'm forgetting, I'll never forget him, but there's some things that weren't clear in my mind anymore. And it made me aware of myself, thinking that's going to be you one day, so you better rock it out while you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you better give people stuff to remember. So when they're thinking, oh yes, that lady who was really rocking it out. You know, so the time we have is short. The time we have is precious. In my head, I'm still 30. Seriously. In my head, my body's saying otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. But it's my head I'm listening to. My head and my heart, I'm still 30 years. I can still move like I can't really, but in my head I can. But we just think seriously about how much time we have and what we want to do with that time. What do we want to do with that time? It's so
Precious.
precious.
Yeah, and I believe that we all say it. We all say, oh God, I haven't got enough time. And it's stopping saying that really helps. So again, it's something that I've really started to
You have to consciously
switch.
do it.
So I'll get up in the morning and I'll look at the clock and I'll say, you have got enough time. You have got time to do this. So rather than go, oh no, I haven't got time to have breakfast, or I haven't got time to do this, I say, you have got time to.
Absolutely.
I immediately switch it and say, what have I got time to do? And so I really catch myself saying that, you know, you haven't got time, you have got time.
David would ask me, which wolf are you feeding today? So on the shoulder, you've got the dark wolf, and then on the right, you've got the light wolf.
The silver wolf.
Or the silver wolf. And yesterday, I was feeding this one. And you know what? I was happy feeding it. So I was in that angry place. And when you're in that angry place, you just want when David is a psychotherapist, says to me, don't calm me down. I want to stick with this wolf. And I'm staying here because I'm really, really angry. And I had that 5 minutes where, I let go, and then this wolf started to kind of like, okay. And you know what? They're both me. And they're both me talking to myself. That's a madness, I know. But, I talk to myself a lot. I'm doing something, I'm thinking, Shalom, what on earth? I usually call myself my full name, and my accent changes. When I get angry at myself, my Nigerian accent comes like, Shalom, Ijo, my Lord, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? I just like, stop it. When I have a go at myself in the mirror, I just go into this Mr. African, like, stop it and get your act together and breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But I allow myself that moment on this side, because you're human, right? I allow myself, it's self-awareness.
And it's good to name your inner voice. And sometimes you do have more than one inner voice. And it's
mine
really
is
good.
outer though, mine comes out. Mine is not inner.
I do it in the car. I call mine Griselda. So, if Griselda comes, I go back in your box, you argumentative madam.
It was dark today. We're projecting Morticia Wednesday. Sorry. What's her name?
Griselda. It's like, get back. What are you doing?
I love it. I don't want to meet Griselda.
No, you don't want to meet Griselda. It's not pretty, and neither is she. So it's good to keep her, in the back seat and preferably in the boot most of the time, locked.
It's knowing that Griselda's there.
Mm-hmm.
It's being aware.
That's that self-awareness.
It's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.